Hi, we're Laura and Dan. We bought an old barn and with no experience of building and farming, we began creating our dream off-grid homestead. We're usually fixing something or making lots of mistakes. Follow us on our journey. This week on the barn conversion, we've got a lot to be cracking on with. The first job is to spruce up these bad boys. These old barn shutters have been in here for a very long time. They're a little rusty and are looking a little worse for wear and in need of some TLC. But with that said, they have great potential. However, there is a lot of rat poo. We've already evicted many of the rats out of here in the past. It was a good tussle, but in the end we won and came out on top. Thankfully this time we won't need to use any weapons. All we need for this job is a sander, sandpaper and a trusty old screwdriver. We got to work on removing the old shutters. The old bolts were very rusty, so it took a little bit of back and forth to get them unstuck. After a little bit of hammering, things were starting to look up and the bolts were flying out. With the first metal shutter out, it was time to move on to the next one. Shutters removed, time to reclaim.
It's got a strong smell of rat wee in here, Laura.
Yeah, we did see a lot of droppings on the windowsill.
Yeah, there's a lot of chocolate goodies.
Got here.
You got a disinfectant, do you?
Yeah. The IBC was a little low on water after all our previous jobs, so the next job was to give it a top up. But while it was nearly empty, we wanted to shuffle it around into a better position and raise it higher off the ground. All that was needed to do was to fire up the generator and pump up the water from the well. Great success.
Delta Hotel over to Lima Hotel, do you copy?
Lima Hotel to Delta Hotel, I'll read you.
The water is on, generators running. All we need to do now is you need to turn the switch at the top and we should have fresh lovely water in that IBC ready to smash out the job.
Okay, roger that, I'll turn on the water now. With the IBC filling up nicely, it was time to get to work on sanding the windows. Safety first. There was already so much rust starting to come off. Dan then came in with the elbow grease. With the first sand down, we decided to bring in the jet wash. We find any excuse to use this now. It's so satisfying. While we had the jet wash out, we decided to spray down around the window area to get rid of the smell of rat urine. So the shutters have been sanded and sprayed down. We're almost down to the bare metal in a lot of places, so the next thing left to do is to just paint them. We then went into the city to choose some paint. We eventually decided on a rust colour. We then laid a tarp to paint the shutters on. With the surface laid, it was time to paint. So it's a little bit later in the day now. We've had a few issues with the vehicles. The van battery was dead and the truck battery was starting to go, so we didn't want to jump start it with a battery that was going to go, so we had to go buy a new battery for the truck before we could jump start the van. The bolt on the truck's mount plate for the battery was so rusted, which made the job a bit trickier. That is a good start. With the truck battery switched out, we then just needed to jump start the van. We haven't been getting a lot of solar recently, and with the van not starting, we needed to get this sorted. The van still wasn't working. At first we thought the alternator had gone as the battery was holding charge okay. Dan then cleaned the terminals and tightened up a loose terminal connector, and that seemed to solve the problem.
So I nearly gave up on the van there for a second, and Laura's just gone off for a jog. I thought when she's away I'm going to still keep messing on with it and see if I can solve the problem. Solve the problems.
What is that beautiful sound I hear? Oh, yay, that's so good. So it's been a big ordeal, but we've got it sorted now. So as it's getting a little bit darker outside, we've got the light on in here, so we can finish painting these shutters. So we bought this paint, and it looks like from the packaging, it looks like it's meant to be like a rusted red colour. And it looks like that on the top, but when we opened it, it's like this bright red colour. So we've done a little patch test on the shutter, and it does look quite bright in the sun, so we're iffing and ahhing whether we wanted to put it on. But I think we're going to go for it, and then if we don't like it, we'll paint over the top with something else. Okay, so scrap that. Everything I've just said, just scrap that. We're going back into the city because we've put some more of it on a white surface and it still looks too red, so we're driving into the city to get some of that paint before the shops close. We're going to be working late into tonight.
So this is the paint that we had that looks nothing like the colour that was on the side of the tin. And hopefully this tin of paint actually feels empty. Feels bad.
Yeah, look, wouldn't it?
Would be, wouldn't it?
All dried up inside.
Oh yeah, all dried up. After a long drive. Mm-hmm. So hopefully this colour, we're going to go for a good old standard brown colour. So hopefully we can't go wrong with that. And surely it can't come out pink or something, can it?
No.
No, it'll be either gone or pink.
Let's see, moment of truth.
That wasn't a face of happiness, Laura.
It feels like it's
looks black, doesn't it?
and also the text. It feels very like
watery.
Like a very thick gloss. I don't like that at all. Like, that's crap.
I have to go back to the drawing board again.
I'm not going to the city again. That's crap. That.
I'm definitely not going back to the fire engine red, Laura.
Honestly, I'd be happy to just put the red on at this point. Well, they're going to have windows and they're going to have little finishing touches, so I think once the roof's red, then you're not going to really notice that as much. It's only going to stand out because we've got a big silver roof on at the moment. So we've decided we're just going to commit to painting this one. I know this is going to need a few coats, but we're just going to paint this one and see, and then if not, we'll have to buy some more paint and finally decide what colour we're going to paint them. on me.
So Laura's not sure if she likes it or not. At first, when we first seen it, obviously we don't like the red. The red's too much. Fire engine red, I call it. And the brown is looking a little bit better for me anyway. The more Laura's putting more coats on. Laura still not happy with it.
I don't know, I think we need to, I think once it's dries, do a few more coats and then just see. I know it's not going to look great because obviously it's going to stand out like a sore thumb with the silver roof and the breeze blocks. But the theory is once the roof's changed and the windows are in,
it's got some nice little feet. Like we've got some add some little gold little parts on the window to make spice it up a bit, like more traditional Portuguese.
Yeah, so once the features are on, I think it'll look a lot better than just being like a lot of brown. But we'll see. I don't want to go to the city and buy any more paint. We spent so much money on paint. So this is what it's looking like. This is the first coat. We're going to leave it and see what it looks like, and then if we like it, we'll put some more coats on. But hopefully it turns out okay, and once it's got all the finishing touches in, like the window and the little gold handles and things, it'll look completely different to what it looks like now. The next day the rain was back, so we decided to pop to our friend Nick's place. He helped us plan out what we could do with our barn roof and also kindly give us some spare granite stone he had for our patio. So we've got the pieces for our patio here. I'm not sure if it's granite or marble. It looks like granite, but it feels like marble, if that makes sense. But anyway, it looks good, and we're gonna put it down in a pattern that looks like a sun shining bright, so it's gonna be good. Before we laid our tiny patio, we made up a batch of mortar. So higher. Like that? With the first few pieces of granite placed into position, we started to make quick work of the sun pattern, and it was really starting to look great. With all the pieces virtually laid down, we just needed to break up a few smaller pieces to finish it off.
Got a few cracked ones for you, Laura, for your masterpiece.
Thank you.
How's it coming on? How are you liking it so far?
It's alright, it's a bit stressful, but we're getting there. Just obviously want to make it so it's on a slant so the water runs off away from the door. So it's looking good. What we're going to do now is we're going to get a mixture of 3:1 yellow sand to cement, just brush that over the top, spray it down, and then that's it. We're done. This was such a satisfying job. It's also one of those jobs where it's quite simple and straightforward. With the final few brushes in, all that was left to do was to drag the dirt back around and level it out around the door area. A little sprinkle of fine mist and it was done.
Honey, I'm home. Is there any rats in here? You better run away because I'm having a shower, unless you want to have one with us. There's no better feeling than having a nice warm shower after you've been having cement all over you and stuff. But what I just wanted to quickly mention about our little setup in here, very basic. So this is our main boiler, which basically is fed in by water from the roof. That we have a water collection around the back. Water comes in from the rain, we collect the water, it runs into the boiler through the blue pipe. We've also got our propane bottle of gas there, so that just feeds in there through the red one into the boiler. And this is where we have our little water set up here, and that's where we collect water from the IBC. It comes in from the roof in here and then feeds through this pipe all the way into here into the boiler, and then we can have a nice shower in this area here. It's also based off one little tiny solar panel which is here, and it feeds into one tiny little lithium battery there. So it's a very basic setup. Free water comes in from the roof, we've got free solar for the electric, and a little bit of gas which is very cheap out here, and a tiny little battery that powers the boiler. Now it's time to have a nice shower, but you can't see this part. So I'm super impressed with how the little patio area is doing. It's turned out a lot better than I even imagined it. Yeah, definitely. So we've covered it up with the top because it's starting to rain now. So it's actually just started to rain, hasn't it? Yeah, just to protect it. It's one of the things as well this week, the rain's really stopped us from really getting stuck into a lot of the jobs that we wanted to do. It's been non-stop, hasn't it? And we've had a few issues with the van as well, and the truck as well. Yeah, it's just one of them things, but we've got everything sorted. Obviously we're waiting on some stuff for the barn. We can't do any more pointing because we're waiting for the electrics to be done. We want to hide them all away, don't we? Yeah, so we can't do any more pointing. I want to change the roof, but we're still waiting on the roof to be delivered. Obviously the reclaiming of the doors and the windows, we're waiting on the glass to be cut for that as well, because we're going to be, actually what we're thinking about now is we're going to be welding a shape with metal, and then we're going to be fixing that on the door somehow, and then obviously then silicon the windows in properly with that. So it should look good when it's all reclaimed. That's what I really like about the things that we're doing at the moment, because initially in our head we had kind of planned where we were going to kind of like buy some windows and buy some doors. But then we just thought, like, why don't we just kind of do things our way, you know, and reclaim them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And,
Saves money, and it saves getting a door fitted. That's going to be quite expensive.
Definitely.
So that's the plan now anyway. So.
And I feel like once they're reclaimed, you've got like put like little Portuguese hinges on and stuff, and then when we eventually kind of finally settle on the colour that we want, because we're still not settled on the colour, I think it'll look really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But you're still not settled on the colour yet, are you?
No, but I don't know. I think the look of them might change once the roof's changed on the barn, and it won't stand out so much because it's not standing against a silver roof. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's just one of them things. I mean, we're gonna give it a few more quotes on it, and then we're gonna kind of simmer with it and see how it looks. But I think I think it'll be all right eventually.
Yeah.
Once it's spiced up a little bit and the windows come in and stuff, I think it'll make it look better.
And I think working on the barns give us a huge morale boost.
Definitely.
Just being inside here and starting to really imagine it and work on it, it's just helped us out massively morale-wise.
Definitely, because we're starting to really now get a feel for how it's going to look, because as the jobs are starting to slowly mount up now, and just little things are coming in place, and we're kind of starting to think about what's the next job and what's coming in, you can start to imagine it more in your head of how it's starting to transform, you know, and how quicker we might actually be in here, you know.
Yeah, which is exciting. So we'd like to have it somewhat as a shell that we could be in soon, but I don't want to put too much pressure on ourselves.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
We'll see, and it's really exciting. But
definitely, I think things are going to start speeding up a little bit more once there's a few things that we're waiting on. I really feel.
Yeah, once those things come. But yeah, I think we should
leave it there. Definitely.
Yeah,
it's been a good one again, and we're looking forward to sharing more what we're going to be getting up to soon.
Yeah. See you later.
See you soon.
Adios.
Ciao.
Bye.
Bye.